Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to our second review on this channel. Do you guys remember when Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was a horrible fucking mess? Yes, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Well, not this one, no. This one right here is a masterpiece. Sonic 2 for the Genesis is great. I'm talking about the 8-bit counterpart, Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
And special thanks to Nintendo for putting this on Virtual Console, because I wouldn't be able to play this turd sack of a game if it wasn't for them, because who owns a Master System?
If you haven't heard of this version of Sonic 2, then you're probably not the only one. I never really discovered this until like maybe 6 or 7 years ago when I've known about the original Sonic 2 pretty much all my entire life. The reason why many people probably don't know about it is because, first off, the Master System wasn't very popular here. It's not a bad console. It has a lot of good games, but Sonic 2 really just isn't a good one, and then again, I'll get to that in a minute. Also, because Sonic 2 also only released in Europe and Brazil on the Sega Master System. We did get it in America, but only on the Sega Game Gear, and it was even worse on the Game Gear because of screen crunch. So if you want to play this game, don't play it on the Game Gear, play it on the Master System, but I beg of you, just don't play this game at all. It's not that good. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's get to actually reviewing this pile of garbage.
Where do I even begin? Well, one thing at least the first zone isn't Green Hill or doesn't look like Green Hill. I'll give that to 8-bit Sonic 2, because in 16-bit Sonic 2, you got Emerald Hill as the first zone, and compare Green Hill and Emerald Hill. Don't they look the exact same, or haven't you at least heard someone say that Emerald Hill and Green Hill are like the exact same zone, just renamed? The level design in this game is either just really cheap and bad, or it's just Sonic running across a flat area and holding right and maybe down most of the time to just roll through a freaking wall. Like, seriously, take Green Hills for an example. If you play through Green Hills, if you're good, because the stage is mainly based off of bouncing off of springs to one end to the other. So that's pretty cool and all. That's a pretty cool concept. But most of the time, you're either just running straight, running through a wall, or if you are taking a spring, you're just taking it to a fucking spike pit of doom. Probably the worst of the worst zones is Sky High. Sky High is not really, like, I would say, a necessarily hard or unfair zone. It's just very lazy, in my opinion. It's probably the laziest zone in the game, which is probably why it's one of the first zones also in the game. It's the second zone in the game, by the way, if you did not know. But the reason why I think it's pretty lazy and bad is because the first act, I get it, it's teaching you how to use the hang glider and all. So, usually you're just taking a few platforms, like up to the hang glider section. You take the hang glider, it's easy to use, all you do is just tap left on the D-pad rapidly. After that, it's the end of the act, but then Act 2, you're running all over the clouds, and you can't tell what clouds you can run and jump on, and that can result you to falling into, again, either a bottomless pit or a spike pit, and that can result you to also dying. And again, if you wanted to play this game back in the 90s, the really only way in America, at least for us, was to play it on the Game Gear. And again, with this game's already bad design that you can't even really see on screen and you gotta take a bunch of leaps of faith, imagine that on a Game Gear screen. So, all I gotta say about the Game Gear version is screen crunch. The controls are a little bit better in the physics. I haven't talked about the physics yet, but let's just say the physics are okay, but when you're underwater, for some reason, they're more slippery and very sluggish, like, which is normal for a Sonic game, but for this game, I don't even know how to really describe it. It's just fucking worse. Also, the enemy placement, it's not completely terrible, but from time to time, I'll be getting hit by something that I can't even see, either from, like, the background or, like you'll be running or like jumping on like a spring. Again, with jumping on the springs and taking all the leaps of faith, you don't know what you're going to land on. You're either going to land on something safe, you're going to land on an enemy, or you're just going to land into a bottomless pit or a spike pit. So the enemy placement's kind of just a mixed bag, but it's not awful, but it's not really the best either. Also, one more thing about the game's controls. I said it controls decent, but I did notice a thing here and there when sometimes I would press the A button and Sonic wouldn't jump, or just some sort of input sometimes would not register. I don't know if that's just me, but I have played this on an actual Master System before, believe it or not, but it's about the same. Sometimes, like, when you would press an input, it would work, sometimes it won't. I don't know, maybe I'm just going crazy, but that's at least what I think sometimes. I'll press an input and sometimes it won't even register. I do gotta say though, the music in this game is actually pretty good. For Master System, I've heard a lot of good music, but the Sonic games on the Master System definitely take the cake for having the best music on the system. Sonic 2, again, good music. It has tracks like you can do anything, you know, from Sonic CD, the main theme, or at least the main theme in the Japanese version of Sonic CD. That's pretty cool to hear. Underground Zone's also a bop to listen to. Scrambled Egg is also a pretty nice bop to listen to. The rest of the music's meh, it's alright, but those are the ones I like to listen to the most. But, yeah, the music in this game's actually pretty good. One other thing I wanted to mention, there are no special stages in this game. You gotta find the Chaos Emerald scattered throughout the zones, like right here, for example. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it's cool for exploration, but are you really exploring in a Sonic game? Unless if it's Sonic CD, I don't really see myself exploring in any other Sonic game. Well, that's all I really gotta say about this game. The level design isn't that good, the music's alright, the physics are a hit or miss. That's almost really about it. This game just isn't really that good. Like, it might have been back when it came out, but going back and replaying it, it's not very good. It just does not hold up at all. If you want to play a good Sonic game, play actual Genesis 16-bit Sonic 2. And again, if you do want to still play this game, avoid the Game Gear version at all costs. You're probably not going to really get past the freaking second zone if you play that version of the game. If you do, then wow. You're skilled, I guess. Good for you. But, yeah, this game isn't very good. And, yeah, let me know what game I should review next. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.